I never knew there were numbers.
We're live.
There's one right here.
We're just live. We're just live.
You're
This
live.
mic is just not working. It is what it is though. I'm gonna hopefully not break it. I'm just gonna talk directly into it like a weirdo. What's going on, everybody? We're here. We're doing a live mock draft. We are less than 24 hours away from the 2016 NFL Draft. I know you guys have seen me do a lot of coverage here on WICR. Me and Ant have also been doing a lot of coverage here on Roommate Rivalry. We've been talking about this a lot, trying to figure out, how this order is going to go. Now, I'll be honest. This is the most I've ever paid attention to an NFL Draft. One of the things I've quickly learned is that it's really hard to predict these things. Quite obviously, there's just a lot of teams that can go a lot of different options. How we're going to do it though right now is Ant is going to control the destiny of 15 or 16 teams, and I'm going to get the remaining teams are going to go. For example, he'll go Rams, then I'll go Eagles, and we'll go like that. So that's just how we're going to do it. We're going to make the pick. We're going to break it down. We're going to explain why. Now, here's the thing about this mock draft. We're not necessarily looking for accuracy in regards to what we think will happen. A prime example of that is, I read a report that has Michael Thomas, Ohio State wide receiver, as the number one receiver on the board for the Bengals. Now, a lot of people, that to me then makes sense that they would take them. However, I'm not big on Michael Thomas, so it's if I were in charge of this team, who I would take, and I think that is how Ant's going to be doing it as well. So that's how we're going to run through it. Ant, we were kind of talking about it. I think you're going to start us off. We got the LA Rams on the clock. Finished 7-9 last season. Traded all the way up to get this number one spot here. It looks like it's got to be quarterback. I'm assuming it's going to be. What are we doing here at pick one?
Going with the California kid himself, Jared Goff. I think they definitely moved up for him. I don't think they ever thought Carson Wentz was their guy. They moved up for this guy. They like the California kid. He's the most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft. That can't really debate that. If he's going to be the best one in years to come, that's a different debate. But I think they love him because he's from California. He's the most NFL-ready, and he has been the most accurate passer, and he's improved every year of that.
Yeah, I think that I would have to agree had I been making that selection as well. For the NFL ready reason, it was really the big one because Rams are sitting at 7-9. So this is a team that feels like they're a quarterback away from making this push to being a team that's going to be not only playoff contenders, but can maybe make a deep run. So for that reason, you want a guy that's ready to make an impact on day one. And he's been in the spotlight before, obviously at the Division I program and things of that nature. And also the thing that is good though is they're not going to be asking tons out of Jared Goff, right? With that great defense there, and Todd Gurley going to get obviously a large amount of touches. So it's not going to be too much pressure on Goff. They just need to make the big plays in the big spots. And I think due to him maybe being a bit more polished prospect, I do think that you see Goff go 1. So I'm on the clock now at 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, had I been the GM of this team a couple weeks back, they wouldn't be picking 2 overall, but they've made the decision to go 2. When you give up as much as they have to move up from what was originally 13 to 2, like I think that sometimes kind of gets forgotten. They've moved from 13 to 2, so you think about it, it's all of these picks plus Kiko and Byron Maxwell that they've gotten rid of in order to get to this second overall spot. It has to be a quarterback. And I think it's Carson Wentz, and I think that it works out for them. I think that's the guy who the Philadelphia Eagles want in real life, and I think that makes sense. I think that he has the higher ceiling. Carson Wentz is my favorite quarterback in this draft class, so I really like the decision for Philadelphia to go on and take Carson Wentz, despite the fact that they currently already have 2 quarterbacks on the roster that they're paying a good amount of money to be there. It's an interesting decision for them to move up, but since they've done that, I think the pick has to be QB. Carson Wentz at 2 to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who's next? Chargers?
Yeah, we got the San Diego Chargers here starting at 3, which, interesting enough, it's almost as if the Chargers had the first pick for them, because they wouldn't be going quarterback. So what a great situation for the Chargers to be in.
It's weird because their needs are offensive tackle, safety, and defensive line, and the next 3 best prospects are probably those positions. Debatable.
I think that's a very good point.
And this is tough. A lot of people say they're gonna draft tackle, but I think they're gonna go with I think they want to try to replace what's his name, Weddle. What was his name from?
Yeah. Eric
I think
Weddle
they're
with
gonna
the
go.
Baltimore Ravens
I
now.
think they're gonna go the best players most people think, and that's Jalen Ramsey. And what else? I have a little thing about him here. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. I think he should be a safety because that's his natural position. He only went to cornerback last year, actually.
Yeah.
And he was still great at it because he's just a great football player and athlete. He has great height and length. His physicality is off the charts, and he has awesome awareness on the football field, and he has a great jump to the ball. He's a very effective blitzer when he was a safety. As a corner, it was still good, but not as effective. He's a great tackler, and he's the only player you would hear about how great they are on special teams too.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite Jalen Ramsey stat, I think, is first true freshman to start at corner for the Florida State Seminoles since Deion Sanders. So pretty good company to be in, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in that category. Yep.
I mean, listen, but
let's talk in 10 years.
Yeah, we'll figure it out if he lives up to prime time. But
all right, so we got.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
So we got Goff, Wentz, and I picked Ramsey.
Yeah. So now at 4, Cowboys sitting here. There's talks about Elliott, and Cowboys fans, I'm sure you would love to see Ezekiel Elliott. I think that. I mean, why wouldn't you?
What reason?
But you signed Alfred Morris.
You pick. That's
I mean,
up to you.
No, and for me here, I can't make the pick after signing Alfred Morris. You know, as the new GM of the Cowboys, I'm inheriting the decisions that have been made by the past and current management, I guess, hypothetically. So, due to the fact that last year Darren McFadden ran for 1,000 yards, and you have Alfred Morris.
He missed 4 games too, right?
Yeah, and he wasn't the starting running back because they had Randall. And you have Dunbar, who can be a solid third down back. As good as Elliott is, due to the other moves and players that are on this roster, it's not a smart decision. That is just how I feel. So for that reason, if I were to be picking 4 and I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would take DeForest Buckner. In my mocks, you see me giving them Joey Bosa, who I think that they're more likely to go, but I like Buckner a bit more than Bosa. And one of the big reasons is the Cowboys could not only use help on the edge, but they can use help on the inside. Now, Buckner is maybe going to line up a bit more at D tackle, but he can be a defensive end, when he has to be. And I think that versatility and scheme fit, I think that all would work really well for DeForest Buckner. To the Cowboys, I would be ecstatic if I were Dallas Cowboys fans to walk away with DeForest Buckner at 4.
I texted you. I think he'll be the best player out of this draft. And years to come, that's depending on if Miles Jack can come back healthy, and possibly his name Jalen Smith, which we'll never know until after next year. He's 6'7", 290 pounds. That doesn't come by very often.
Yeah. And athletic,
he has great quickness, and he's very athletic, especially for his size, like I just said. He's great at knocking down the balls because of his size and length. He's a great natural feel for the game, and apparently he has great effort and will when he's playing. He could actually blow by people, more so on the inside than the outside. The only thing that his height can work against him is because the lineman may be able to stand him up easier because he is so tall. But and he's a much better pass rusher than people give him, but definitely more on the inside than the outside.
Yeah, I think that Buckner would be really good for the Cowboys here. Although I definitely think for them the ideal scenario is Jalen Ramsey is there. But realistically, it's tough with the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory are going to be dealing with suspensions. Maybe have to go DN. It's tough to figure out for the Cowboys. But if I was GM, that with what's left right there in front of my face, I go to DeForest Buckner at 4. So Jaguars on the clock. Let's be real here. A pair of huge Blake Bortles fans in the studio right now. How can you not love the guy? He's just so talented. His receivers are solid. They've made a ton of offseason moves. The Jacksonville Jaguars have picked in the top 8 every year since I think it was 2008. That's not good. But the Jaguars might be ready to turn around.
It's the first year people actually really see upside.
It's true. This might be the first year that they not only, that they really turn it around.
Maybe they're 500.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm people. I could see better than 500. I could see them being better than 500 with that offense, with the ability to add a defensive playmaker at 5, and then the defensive acquisitions that they made.
They got
like
Blake Jackson, Tyshawn Gibson, Chris Ivory, Prince Mukamara.
Yeah. Oh man. Jacksonville Jaguars Blake Bortles. Let's get it going. Bortles 2016.
It's very weird because they could use a lot of like on the defensive side. And anyone can also use an offensive lineman, which Tunsil is still there. They could use a cornerback, linebacker, outside linebacker, or middle. I'm gonna go with This is tough because I really don't know how people view the health of Miles Jack. I really just don't know.
Yeah, it's so impossible to figure out when it comes to, just being honest, guys like us who follow the draft very closely but don't have the opportunity to really be in touch with these scouts or, Miles Jack himself. I mean, we have to base it off what we hear. And yesterday or 2 days ago, we heard Giants are all in on Miles Jack. And I believe, a couple minutes ago, we heard off the board. So
I don't believe anything.
Exactly.
Real quick side note. Apparently, my mic is really low.
How's that?
No, it was someone texting. Okay, but
hopefully that fixes it. If not, keep sending the feedback. I appreciate
just
that.
One side note before I pick for the Jaguars. I saw this. I was looking through Bleacher Report, and 4 Giants things came up. 1, they're drafting Elliott. 2, they're drafting Conklin. 3, they're drafting Floyd. Another one was Odell sold the 6th most jerseys or something like that. And that's 3 different players in 1 hour of posting.
Yeah.
So I don't believe anything when it comes to the Giants at this point. I really don't. People are saying, it's down to Conklin and Floyd, but we do that when you pick for 10. But for 5, I think they're gonna go Bosa. Honestly, they're gonna go that defensive line. People might think that's a need, but I think Bosa. I changed my mind on Bosa. I don't think he's the best player in this draft, but I think he can still be a 10-year guy, get 7 to 8 sacks a year, be solid, maybe almost Pro Bowler. And you can't go wrong with Bosa. You see his career. He's maybe dipped a little bit in his junior last year?
Yeah, I mean, his production dipped a little.
And, so I'm going to go for Bosa. I think they'll be scared a little bit of Jack, and they'll play it safer with Bosa.
I like that decision because, I mean, it's playing it safe, but when you also think about it, this is one of the reasons why I think that a lot of people think if Jalen Ramsey's there, that would be the pick, and a lot of people think that Miles Jack could be the pick, but I don't think that we should count out Buckner or Bosa because they were big players on Olivier Vernon before the Giants made the record-breaking deal. So I think that's something to keep in mind, that this team may still try to address defensive end.
Yeah, they were in that Vernon thing. Then we just gave them the whole vote,
so
which I was happy about.
With that being the case, you definitely could see the Jaguars go Bosa or Buckner, and I think that it could be a good decision for them. So I like the pick. At 6, Baltimore Ravens. Now it's pretty funny. I did a mock draft. It was a little bit over a month ago. It was like the day before free agency. And I said the Ravens were going to take Ronnie Stanley because they needed an offensive tackle and got destroyed by Ravens fans. We don't take based on need. We take best player available, blah, 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 blah.
Well, right now, this person could be
So the funny thing is we're now, more than a month removed from that, and the Ravens are in a position where probably the best player available is an offensive lineman. I still think offensive lineman is a position that they should be addressing. I think Laramie Tunsil's arguably the best player in the draft. Although some people think that Stanley may be better, I think it's close. I think that right now, though, I would probably put Tunsil a bit ahead of Stanley. For that reason, Tunsil at 6 to the Ravens, and I think that they do cartwheels. I think that they have to love that situation for the Ravens.
I think it's a great pick for them. They definitely need it. I mean, you saw running back and quarterback down after, I don't know how many games they're both out. And apparently he's supposed to be a stud and future Hall of Famer possibly. But Stanley, I think he could be great too. But at this point in the draft, someone will take Tunsil over Stanley.
I think so too.
Whether who's going to be better is completely different. And that's it. And what's next? Niners?
Yeah, we got the Niners. I'm trying to find like a good instrumental song to put underneath this because I don't know, when I'm in this studio it just feels so big that I feel like if you just throw a little something on the bottom of it, it'll sound a bit better. So I'll up the mics a little bit and I'll see if that sounds a bit better to the ear. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Besides the Giants, these next 2 teams, I still have no idea what they're gonna do with the Niners and Browns.
Yeah.
I feel like with the I'll let you know what I do with the Bucks. For the Niners, what do they need? What do these guys need?
They're tough. No, I'll give you some time to just take another look at it. I mean, the Niners are tough. Forever, they had the Niners going QB.
All right, so they have QB, offensive tackle, receiver, cornerback. Well, that makes it easier, actually. I think they're going to pick Ronnie Stanley. After looking at that real quick, I did tell you that my bold prediction was them getting Lynch if they still stay at that pick. But that's just a bold prediction. If I'm right, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm still going to go with Stanley. I think they're going to want to protect Kaepernick or Gabbert, and God forbid, how could Gabbert possibly be Kaepernick, especially in the Chip Kelly system? But I'm going to go Stanley to protect the quarterback who's there. I think Chip Kelly. Oh no, he's not. He doesn't have nothing to do with this. So this is definitely a good pick.
Yeah.
He can't make a pick technically.
In a way, they screw this up. No Nelson Aguilar's here. I definitely like the decision to go Ronnie Stanley. You got to protect Kaepernick, and one of the things that's just going to be key is whether it's Kaepernick or whether it's a rookie that they may end up starting at some point. Protection is key, so I like that decision. Cleveland Browns, number 8. Boy, oh boy, what would I do here if I were the Cleveland Browns?
Did that video I showed you last night change your mind on who you would pick for them?
I mean, it's interesting.
When you go through the history of what they've done.
They consistently mess up.
They move back and then mess up.
Yeah, and the guy who they always end up being picked at the spot they would have had seems to always work out. So that is that could be great news for Carson Wentz. I definitely consider Elliott here. Because
you think Hugh Jackson maybe helps this organization turn? I have no idea how good he is.
I mean, the thing is though that from what it seems, the Browns might potentially be in a situation though where it seems Hugh Jackson wants to draft really good defensive players and scheme offensively, and I get that.
I'm gonna look up what they need. I don't know if it'll help you at all.
I mean, yeah,
they need QB, receiver, running back, tackle, safety, and every other position besides tight end.
Yeah, I mean, they need it all over the place, and I think for me, if a Bosa was on the board, if a Buckner was on the board, I think that would be the pick. But honestly, I think that I'm gonna have to kind of go with. It's between Jack and Elliott. It's between Miles, Jack, and Elliott. And I mean, this is why you can't kill me right now because you're on the board. You never know who's going to fall to you. That's why they give you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The positives of Elliott are I think he's a franchise running back and he's going to take tons of pressure off of RG3. The reason why I like Miles Jack, for the same reason you, is we both agree that Miles Jack has a very good chance to be the best player out of this draft. It's just a matter of, do you trust that knee? And I guess it kind of depends on the type of GM that you are.
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Elliott because I don't think the Browns can afford to mess the pick up again. And as much as I don't think Jack's a bad pick, but the injury chance for me scares me too much. So I'm gonna go Elliott because I can't afford to mess this up, and I know that Elliott will be good. Probably great. I love Ezekiel Elliott. Probably my favorite player in this whole draft. So
yeah, I love Elliott too. I think, even though you disagree, as I think you do, that he definitely won't be better than Gurley.
I'm more Elliott than Gurley. I get it.
He's like one of the best pass blocking running backs ever, which is really weird for a college person. And he can catch the ball. He runs. He runs with his legs. He runs very strong. He definitely catches the ball. He's got very interesting speed, and you can't go wrong depending on the team, obviously.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that this is the thing here. If Ronnie Stanley was there too, I'd love that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's interesting because then you have to kind of play him at right tackle.
You don't like Jack Conklin?
No, because then you got to play Stanley at right tackle while Joe Thomas is over at left. So it's like, But it's like, listen, if I'm starting RG3, yeah, I'd like to have 2 left tackles on the on each side type of deal. But you know what? I think that Elliott is going to be able to give him just enough, just as much type of help. That's if he gets the starting job too, because I think at some point within the 7 rounds, Browns take a quarterback, and Josh McCown and him are currently splitting first-team reps probably.
I mean, if RG3 can't win that out, he should just quit. I mean, what's his name?
McCown.
He's a solid quarterback. I'll give him that. But come on, I mean, you're better. She'll be better.
I think the point of it too is
no, he should. No,
McCown isn't going to ever be the guy who takes the Browns to the next level. He can be good enough. He can get them out of this rut.
He can give him maybe a little bit of competition, but you really should beat him out. I get why there's competition now, make him work for it, but that's it.
But yeah, so we got Elliott at 8.
Elliott is at 8. I have the Bucks. I was gonna say I think they're gonna pick the best defensive player at that point, but I don't know who trusts Miles Jack's knee.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't know.
Their needs is defensive end. C's for center.
Yeah.
Center, okay. Cornerback and safety. So just from looking at that, I'm gonna go with who I think it can be good is I don't have him as my top 2 cornerback, but Vernon Hargreaves, the third. This is the third, right?
Yep. Vernon Hargreaves, the third, straight out of Flow Rider.
Let me just pull up what I wrote about him.
Straight out of Gainesville.
He's 5'10", 200 pounds. He has a great initial quickness, but doesn't have a great length. He's not explosive at all, which is could be very scary. He can change directions very quickly, which is very good for a cornerback. He has big play potential. He has some of the best ball skills in the draft, which has to do with interceptions and knocking passes down. And he has great awareness to make plays on the football field, as, like I said, for great ball skills.
Yeah, I mean, I know he had 7 picks over his last 2 years while at Florida. Hargreaves is real good, and you brought Brent Grimes in, and now you can put Hargreaves in. I like that decision. I think that when you think about the Buccaneers, the offensive core is there in regards to having Winston, Evans, and Martin. As unreliable as Doug Martin may be, because he went from irrelevant to real good to irrelevant to real good. So
and they have another receiver.
They have Vincent Jackson, and Austin Seferian Jenkins was very good for them. So
is that their tight end?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, their tight end.
Yeah, I thought he was
so
solid.
I think addressing the defense is a good decision. I like your approach to that, and I also think that I probably would go Vernon Hargreaves for them.
I should revise my statement. I think they'll pick the best defensive player for their need, not just the best, because Miles Jack is the best.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
And you're picking for my Giants.
It's got to be Miles Jack. I don't care about that knee at this point. I'm sitting there. I'm the New York Giants. I desperately need to improve my linebacking core. And you're telling me Miles Jack is sitting there? If that thing could explode walking up to get the hat from Roger Goodell, I don't care.
He should run up there.
It's the correct pick. If it explodes on his way up to getting the hat, I'm knocking on wood. I hope it doesn't for him. I hope he's successful. But if you're the Giants and don't take Jack,
if he's there, yeah,
you have to. I don't care about the knee unless you guarantee me that knee is bad. Unless you are 1,000% certain that Miles Jack will not play more than 2.5 NFL seasons, you have to take him. And if I'm Giants general management, Miles Jack's there. I am doing every dance known to man. I'm inventing new ones on the spot. Honestly, I'm being serious. If I was the GM, I'm doing a Running Man challenge video with the whole draft room. Anytime I think of you. Because we just got Miles Jack. If the Giants picked one, it's between Ramsey, Jack, maybe Tunzel. So
maybe Buckner.
This is just amazing for Miles Jack to be there at 10. It's got to be Miles Jack to the Bears. Or you can actually comment on it.
Yeah, I did a little research. I couldn't find one flaw in him except the fact of his knee. And he's 6'1", 245, which is, I think, nice size for a linebacker. He's truly special. I do believe he's a future Hall of Famer. He's easily the best cover linebacker in this draft, hands down. Great explosion, awesome silent-to-silent ability, and the only person you'll find at the linebacker position that can also do line of scrimmage to end zone ability to chase down players. He's a great tackler, especially in open space. Just YouTube his name and look at his tackle in open space. Very physical tackler. He has awesome instincts of where to be and for run support and coverage. Great hustler and plays very hard. And just for fun fact, he won Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, right? Didn't he?
Yeah,
and Defensive Player of the Year.
It was Rookie of the Year for offense and defense in the Pac-12. Come on now. You mean to tell me that, like, if you guys somehow
might be the best athlete besides Ramsey in this draft.
Like, if you guys figure out... Here's the thing, right? Let's say somehow they figured out the linebacking situation. People think the running back situation is not that great. Okay, Miles Jack, come back. Come on. No, seriously. It's gotta be Miles Jack. It just has to be.
I think they will pick Floyd over Jack. It seems like. I'll give you my take on Floyd wherever we put him.
Whenever he gets off the board.
Mm-hmm. But so Jack now, who am I? The Bears. I think they're not going offensive line just because the Stanley's not there. I think they're gonna go. There you go, Shaq Lawson.
I like it.
I'm going with Shaq Lawson. I don't know how he will be. I think he has very high potential and very low potential.
Yeah. Boomer bust.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I don't have a lot on Shaq Lawson. I liked him in college. I was rooting for Clemson, and that's basically. I don't know. You probably have more facts on Shaq.
I mean, led college football in tackles for loss. He had 12.5 sacks, and I just think that he was a guy who they kind of looked at his college production. I think a lot of guys were like, yeah, you know what? I don't see it translate. I think that's what a lot of people were. And I think they maybe questioned his athleticism. Perhaps he was just a guy who strived well in a Clemson system. But he went to the combine and completely dazzled. He just did really, really well. And then you look at all these teams, and he's consistently moved up draft boards. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I hope I'm right here, I think that no team has spent more time with Shaq Lawson than the Chicago Bears. So I think that you might be right on the money with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that he can be really good, honestly. I like Shaq Lawson. Look, the thing going into it is, after watching this past Super Bowl, defensive edge rushers are going to be at a premium. Everyone's going to want it. And this is a draft class that is, if we're going to include, the D tackles, you're loaded with defensive linemen here. Right. So a lot of people are going to be going that route. And I think that Shaq Lawson does make a ton of sense.
Yeah, the only problem is, how good did Dodd possibly make him look? That's the only thing I have to say on the other end.
But it also could work vice versa. So and that, I mean,
look, I feel like more people are talking the way I just said, though.
The thing is, honestly, it was just a really good Clemson football team. So it's similar to Ohio State. Because here's one of the things, and this is a little bit of prelude of the gentleman who I'm actually going to take next for 12. Joey Bosa, when he was at Ohio State, there's a guy on the other side of him who a lot of people said kind of made things easier for him. And then Bosa was double-teamed constantly, and that's part of the reason his numbers dipped.
Okay.
And that's why I'm not too nervous about the numbers dipping on Bosa, because he was just doubled constantly. I mean, that's like being upset for J.J. Watt's numbers dipping. Yeah. Like calling Joey Bosa J.J. Watt, but it's just Watt is consistently double-teamed. And that's what happened. Sometimes he was triple-teamed Bosa because you just, that wasn't taken away from him. However, when Noah Spence was still in an Ohio State uniform,
I was going to talk about that.
He kind of impressed a bit more than Bosa. He was the higher-rated recruit that compared to Bosa. I love Noah Spence. I love Noah Spence. I think he's going to be really good. I know a lot of people are on the other side of that, but I'm still a big Noah Spence guy.
Wait, you're picking Noah Spence.
So if I were the Saints at 12, look, this is how I look at it. I need best defensive player.
He's not the best one left.
I
mean, their need is a defensive line edge rusher.
I think that,
or interior offensive line.
I think that I have to go Noah Spence. That's my
my
guy.
You're picking, so I'll tell you why you're wrong.
I mean, it's me ruining the Saints' future. No problem. No, I really like Noah Spence, so that's who I would go with.
What did I write about this player?
This man named Noah Spence, this absolute Eastern Kentucky purebred animal.
He's 6'2", 255. This is not bad. I don't think he's really going to be as good as everyone initially thought when they had him as high as the Giants, or maybe even a little higher. He's good snap anticipation. He's good initial quickness. He can smack the ball down. But the reason why I will not pick him, is what I'm about to say, is he was suspended of Ohio State in 2013 for the last 3 games. And he was busted for ecstasy.
Yeah.
For that. And he was suspended from the Big Ten.
That's
why permanently. Yeah. And that's why he went to Eastern Kentucky. I trust him a lot less than
Nkemdiche.
Yes, than Nkemdiche.
Yeah, that last name's a true
I am staying away from him. Off-field problems. Usually I don't fall for the off-field when people say, oh, they shy away from that. But this one, I am staying away.
I think I'm starting to realize I'm an off-field kind of guy. Like, I'm probably going to put Nkemdiche way too high in this somewhere. I don't know. I don't know why. I just feel like the fact that La'el
I trust
Collins,
Ndidi more than
like
him.
the fact that La'el Collins wasn't drafted last year
That's a little different.
is stupid. And I think that's
It was a little different because it was literally happening during the draft.
yes, and he was being questioned for murder. So,
But
I get it.
he wasn't questioned. He wasn't a suspect, but his girlfriend was part of it or something.
It was something.
He was never questioned as like a suspect as part of it. His
Yeah.
girlfriend was part of it. So
I think it might have actually. I don't want to really say anything more on it, just because since I don't know the details, I don't want to say anything there.
it was literally happening during the draft time.
Yeah.
That's why it was a big thing.
But
Of course, the Cowboys got him.
so I don't know. Maybe I'm more of an off-field guy. 13, the Miami Dolphins, who quite frankly, I think are in such a bad spot.
For our draft, they're in a bad spot.
But no, because this is the thing. Elliott
no.
goes. If Elliott's not there for them, they made a big mistake.
Yes
That's how I
yes
think
and
of
no,
it.
because they do have a cornerback need.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I said that. Not if maybe Hargraves falls, but I've been looking through this and I think they're gonna. For them, I think they. This is not who I would pick, but for them, I think they're gonna pick Eli Apple. I am not a fan.
Eli.
Oh,
Did you see that? Did you see what's going on with Eli Apple on Twitter or no?
No, actually, I take that back. I'm not a fan right now, but in the future, I think he could be very good. And what do you want to say?
Hold on, give me a quick second. I'm playing instrumental bangers.
Okay, and
Send out a quick
I'll give you
text.
my little interpretation of it. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. I don't think he's round one talent right now. This is because of how bad this draft class is as a whole, honestly. He has good height and good length, but he definitely needs to get stronger. Apparently, he has very good work ethic. He has a lot of effort. Ran both man and zone at Ohio State, which makes him definitely well-rounded. This is why not the biggest fan of him. He's not a great tackler, which is definitely going to need to be, and definitely needs to work. But if he really works at it, I think he can be really, really good.
Eli? We're
Yeah.
talking about?
If he really works at it.
Is he the pick though? Well,
That's not who I would pick, but I'm picking more for that of who I think the Dolphins would pick if
Okay.
this is that draft.
okay. Because I'm rocking more who I think I would take, but that's fair. So here's what happened with Eli Apple.
If it was me, I would pick
I say do it as if it was you.
if it was me,
If it was you,
just
based
because
on
I don't
what
want
your
them
team,
to get this person.
based on what your team needs.
if it was me, because I don't want them to get, it would be William Jackson the third.
I think no. So write Willie Jackson the third down.
I don't want them to get.
Doesn't matter, Ant.
Alright.
Because I want to do this. I want to do
Because
this.
I know who
mock
I'd put.
draft.
I know where I put Apple then.
Yeah,
I don't know if I picked that or not.
I want to do this
So-
one based on who we would take.
Okay,
Because I don't
so
think
that-
Spencer's going to go 12. But
Okay.
I think I would take Spence 12.
Okay, then I'll give my interpretation of Jackson. I think I think he's the best pure cornerback prospect. I think he's better than Hargraves.
Wow.
I'm keeping Ramsey out of that because I think he's a safety. But if we're gonna go Ramsey as a cornerback, then he'll be number 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'1", 190. He had an awesome combine, which a lot of people started talking about him. He could, like I said, he could be the best pure cornerback prospect. He has great deep speed. Not the best initial quickness, but he makes up for it with his speed that he can go down the field. Excuse me. He has great instincts and awareness, and he never gets burnt off the ball. He's solid
So
and
fast.
solid in run support, so he's not gonna give up like the big run. He can lay people out, really like just lay people out due to his great physicality, and he has great ball skills, which has to do with knocking balls down and intercepting balls. I love him. I think he could really be great in this league.
William Jackson has really, really shot up the draft board, so I think it's possible. Here's the thing on Eli Apple, and I feel like he'll probably go in this first round for us. I think he'll go off the board at some point.
I know where I would put him next. If
but,
I have that. Oh, I do have that pick, but I don't know if you might choose him before.
So a draft scout came out and said, he said, Eli Apple can't cook.
Oh yes, I did see that.
And then
they said that's a negative thing.
yeah, and then his mom.
How many of these millionaires have their own chefs?
No wait, but listen to
I
this.
mean-
But then his mom said his dad's a chef and Eli can cook, and then
Did he just say he couldn't cook? Was
and
that a
then
thing?
Ezekiel
You think?
Elliott tweeted, "He's made me some fire fried chicken and mac and cheese."
But wait, is that I'm only thing did he say he can't cook? Was that the thing?
I don't
feel
know.
like why else would they say that unless he said that? Because I know they ask weird questions.
Like, did they give him like quick utensils in the middle of an interview and they're like, hey, cook this up? Like, I just don't get it. So that's like the weird.
Because they do ask weird questions at the combine. I think it's cool and stupid at the same time,
It's very weird.
depending on what they ask.
But basically, the best one for me though is Darren Lee goes, I think we need to have a cook-off at the draft, which I think is awesome. So that's the big news that Eli Apple's
But like
making right
I
now.
said, how many of these millionaires like in the league have their own personal chefs?
Yeah, I don't get it.
90%.
When was the last time LeBron made a meal?
Yeah. I mean, you think Brady and Peyton Manning are cooking? No.
It's just outrageous. All right, 14. I'm
Raiders.
going with a corner here as well. And I'm going Mackenzie Alexander. He's my version of what William Jackson is to you. I love Mackenzie Alexander.
I'm not a fan.
Huge knock is the fact that the man has no interceptions. Dude wasn't tested. They knew better.
I'm not even gonna say anything about that part.
They knew better than to throw at him. Listen, for me, I think all you need to be sold on is just go back. If you watch the Alabama-Clemson game, the first half, Alabama couldn't throw the ball. Mackenzie Alexander was on the field. Second half, Jake Coker looked like an absolute legend, was slinging it all over the place, and Mackenzie Alexander was not on the field. Now, the one thing to be concerned about is the injuries were soft tissue injuries, so perhaps maybe he's a bit fragile, which could be, a bit concerning. But I love Mackenzie Alexander. He's one of my favorite players in this draft, and look, I didn't have the opportunity to work him out and test him in all these different drills, but based on what I've seen from him and heard from him, I love Mackenzie. And if I was the Raiders, considering that they could definitely use a corner, I would go Mackenzie.
I'm not a fan of Mackenzie Alexander.
It's outrageous.
He's 5'10", 190. Which is okay.
True.
I could see him being a good player, not a great player, and I think a lot of his hype and this draft prospect has to do because of when he was in high school and the prospect he was, because he was on a great high school team and he was one of the bigger names on that defensive side. And for some reason, I don't know why the NFL always views the high school prospects like where they were. I don't know why they do that. But he definitely has good strength for him being 190. He's very physical, good quickness, and great speed. He is way too aggressive, which makes me think he could get burnt. He has great confidence and swagger, which a lot of people say, which I think could be good or bad depending on the type of player you are. He's still only 5'10", and he is not a great tackler and is not really good at run support, so he has a lot of work.
See, the reason why I think I was real drawn to him is I'm starting to believe that in order to be an elite corner, you got to be a bit of a jerk, a bit of a loudmouth.
I think it depends what type of player you are, though. Can you back it up, though?
Well, yes, obviously.
Because Sherman backed it up more or less.
No, and I get that, but I'm starting think about right now if you were to name your 5 best corners. I don't know, but I know for a fact that you're probably gonna have to have Sherman, Norman, and Pat Pete in your top 5, just based off what's going on.
Revis and
I know Revis and
from the Browns.
Joe Hayden. That'd probably be the top 5. And definitely Revis is in there. I don't know, but you think about Pat Pete, Sherman, and Norman way in your face, way loud, just kind of very cocky type guys, and I feel like that might be kind of keep it together with that iced coffee hand. I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that's just an attitude that maybe isn't almost necessary for the position. It's a little interesting, but I like it. Mackenzie Alexander 14 for those Oakland Raiders.
Titans is next. So they were the original number 1 pick, moved down to 15, trade with the Rams. Got a lot of picks. I think will stay at this spot at number 15. Their key acquisitions were actually DeMarco Murray, who I think can have a really great season. Rashard Matthews, wide receiver, and Bryce McCain, cornerback. They need an offensive tackle, safety, or cornerback. I think they're gonna make the mistake and draft Conklin. But who would I pick? I think I have to choose Conklin. Honestly.
I mean, he could be good as maybe as a right tackle outside of the top 10.
Because I think at that point, I have to take him. Honestly,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
I feel like you gotta take the best lineman tackle at that point. You always could say, oh, this guy Taylor Decker possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people are higher on Jack Conklin. They might be higher on Decker for all I know.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not a big fan of Conklin, but he could also be good. I think he could be actually very good right tackle, possibly. So I'm gonna go Conklin.
I like it. I think it's fair.
I think they really want to go lineman
Mhm.
if the right person's there.
I think so too. I think you see Deckler or Conklin at 15, and I think that's probably a good decision because
But I definitely know Decker will be there. Conklin, you know, he
Yeah.
could move around. You know.
I think when we had him at 1, I think we were pretty, in agreement on they had to protect Mariota with Tunzel. They
Yeah, I
moved to
thought that was
15. I still think that the key should be protecting Mariota.
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
so,
also
too.
making life easier for DeMarco.
Yeah.
So Conklin, Decker
Yeah, I think
at
they're
15. I think that's
they're playing it safe, but I think it's a very good safe pick.
16, the Detroit Lions. Interesting team here. Now,
Let me look up what they need for you.
it's a little hard to figure out where they go, and I think I have an idea of where I'm going to go. I'm going to listen to what they says the draft needs are. Though.
They need a tackle, middle linebacker. I just said linebacker and cornerback. That's their 3
offensive
top needs.
tackle is what it
Yes,
says.
offensive tackle.
Which
Those are the
makes,
top 3
it
needs.
makes Taylor Decker interesting. I'm going to be honest though, and not that I feel like they could use some defensive line help still though. I feel like
Okay.
they were at their best when it was Ndamukong Suh plus Nick Fairley just causing
Oh, yeah.
absolute mayhem in the middle. They re-signed Haloti Ngata, but Haloti Ngata is probably maybe in his last NFL
But I
contract.
love Ziggy Ansah. He's a force.
Do like Ziggy Ansah, which
Long, big.
who's probably
Gets to the
gonna be
quarterback.
part of the reason why I end up throwing someone in this round maybe. But we'll get to that when it happens.
Detroit.
I think I go Ashawn Robinson, and I think I give them another big type tackle like Ashawn Robinson. One of the things that they've said about Ashawn is that maybe effort could be one concern. Well, if effort's a concern, and
I feel like you never hear that from Alabama.
but this is my thing, right? If effort is a concern for Robinson, and he still looked as good as he did while at Bama, oh boy. Could he be something special maybe then? You know what I'm saying? And I think too that Haloti Ngata could probably take him under his wing and make him a better guy. And I think too one of the big keys is it frees up Ziggy Ansah then even more because the guards can't then double because you have to respect your interior linemen. And I think that Ashawn Robinson is a bit better at getting to the quarterback than some of the other D tackles. The point still remains though that I've made consistently throughout this draft. Defensive tackle, there's like 7 different names that are all, maybe even 8. I think it's, let me see if I can do this off the top of my head. Ashawn Robinson, Sheldon Rankins, Andrew Billings, Robert Kondichi, Jerron Reed, and then there's Chris Jones, Kenny Clark out of UCLA, and Vernon Butler. 8 names. I've seen every single one of them in the first round. Every single one of those guys. So it's anybody's guess which D tackle goes first. It's anybody's guess in which order these D tackles go. It's going to strictly depend on where these NFL teams rank them. Today we heard Sheldon Rankins apparently is liked by the Cowboys. They're picking 4th. I've also seen
He's from Louisville?
yeah, the kid out of Louisville. I seen someone mock Andrew Billings in the top 10. It's impossible to figure out. So I'm just based on me. If I'm the Lions, I want to grab a D tackle. I'm going to grab a Ashawn Robinson and throw him right there, smack dab in the middle.
Right now we could just go to 18. I mean, 17 might be the easiest pick if the person's there, Darren Lee.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so true.
I think he's their top guy just because who they think is going to be there. I think it's a very easy pick. From what I got, he's 6'1", 230. What really helped him is he had a great combine. He's very quick for his weight, which is 230. He could fly. He's a sideline-to-sideline player, which is something you really want out of your linebacker. He doesn't have the top speed, but he could get there. He could defend a slot receiver or the running back, which is very good. Very solid blitzer, and he could get off the edge too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think that'd be a great pick. And honestly, I think the only reason that wouldn't be the pick is if he's not there.
Yeah.
Or if they like Ragland a bit more because he's more inside linebacker.
I wouldn't.
But I still think I would go Darren Lee as well.
If Lee's not there, I don't think they would pick Ragland.
You don't think so?
Do they? Is that their top thing, linebacker?
I think that it should be because I feel like they just need a defensive leader, a playmaker type of guy who can command the defense, and I think that Ragland could be that. I like Darren Lee though. I think that would be the pick I make too.
It says edge, linebacker, safety, guard. So yeah, I think that they actually would pick.
It's possible, but I think I would go Lee as well.
Since we don't have Floyd off, might be Floyd.
That's true. Floyd's slipping here, and I'm not gonna lie.
He won't slip in the real draft. I know
Nope.
that.
All right, 18.
And that's you.
the Colts tough spot here, right? I feel like it's got to be offensive line.
They have to trade up. That's just a fact.
It's just confusing.
Do they literally just not have picks that they just can't trade up?
I'm going to be honest with you. What does it say that the biggest needs of the Colts exactly are?
How about a whole offensive line?
I mean, that's really how I look at it.
Let me pull it up. Guard, center, tackle, inside linebacker.
All right, there you go. All right, let's just be real here. It's
literally an offensive line.
Offensive line. So one of the things that I originally have had Cody Whitehair here for a long time, and I'll say why. He seems to be labeled as the best guard, right? Mm-hmm. But while in college, played tackle, and has also seems like he can be, and he's capable of playing center. Mm-hmm. So every year it seems that the Colts line gets hurt. I like the versatility of being able now to know that he can potentially play every single one of the offensive line positions for me.
So you are picking him?
However, I have recently changed my mind, and I think that I'm going to go Ryan Kelly, the center out of Alabama.
Really? I thought you were going to go Decker.
And I'll tell you, and the only reason why I say why, because Decker may not be that great.
Well,
however,
you don't pick. You do and don't pick because of that.
No. But my thing is, Ryan Kelly is going to be great. Like, he's a great center, and he's going to be their center there for just 10 years. I don't think he gave up a single sack. It was either last year or something. It was something along those lines. He just doesn't get beat. He's just so good.
Didn't Ronnie Stanley not give up a sack this year?
Probably. He's so talented, Ronnie Stanley.
I could be confused, but
I think that's why I'd go center here, and the reason why I think I can go guard, maybe Joshua Garnett out of Stanford is maybe still around when the Colts go in the second round, or maybe they can find their way to get up for the opportunity to take Garnett. So, listen, if I'm the Colts, I go offensive line. You got to protect Luck. That's how you're going to win the division. It's not through stopping people. It's just not.
They're not going to. I don't even think they win this year.
Honestly, if the Colts finished in third in the division, it wouldn't shock me. Meanwhile, we went into last year thinking they were the absolute lock.
He literally has to put up better numbers than Peyton Manning did, I think. Just because the team is worse than when Peyton Manning was there. Easily.
I mean, he's going to have to do some crazy stuff.
Because that defense is still trash.
Yeah.
Except for the cornerback's name?
Oh, boy. Vontae Davis.
He's good. He's good when he wants to be.
Here's the problem, though, right?
Or when he's healthy.
People have them taking defensive players, and that's not crazy because they need defensive help.
It's not crazy, but you're protecting your franchise.
Yeah, it's like we got to protect Luck. So
if Luck was in there, maybe they win 1 or 2 more games. But he'll still be on his butt the whole time.
And I don't know. If they went defense, I could only understand it because then maybe they believe they can get guard or center type in the second round. But if they don't take an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds, if I'm Andrew Luck, I walk if that's possible because that's just it's
definitely I think the only thing he could do is demand the trade.
Yeah, so right? because that's just asking for an injury. So I go Ryan Kelly.
Did they sign anyone? Any offensive linemen?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay.
I might have missed something along the way, but not that I know of.
Let me look up real quick, see their key acquisitions.
But, so I do that. Bills coming up here. Bills are an interesting team, man. Bills are very interesting. You got the Ryan brothers. A lot of people think they go defense. However, some people think that Paxton Lynch is in play here. There's some people who think they could consider wide receiver. So, to me, that's very interesting. I'm not sure exactly what route the newly controlled by Anthony Lizito Buffalo Bills are going to go, though.
Just a side note, you know how bad the Colts offseason has been?
Oh, boy.
You know the only key acquisition was? Turban.
that's
And they already have a starting running back.
and they got, getting rid of Andre Johnson?
I don't think that was the biggest deal in the world.
But
it's not like he did it. He did better with Hasselbeck than one game against his former team, which makes sense. He had one good game.
Him and Anquan Bolden both out there. I think that
I love Anquan Bolden. I want the Giants to get him so bad.
I think that they should both be on teams. Anquan before Andre.
Yes.
But I think they both should be on teams.
Yeah, I think Andre. One of them's going to the Patriots. Who we can?
Let's start getting real.
Wait. I have the Bills.
Yeah.
The Reno Bills.
Hey.
No. Apparently, side note. It looks like it's really coming along that the Raiders are going to go to Vegas.
Oh,
Then they're gonna be
man.
called Vegas Raiders. That's what they said.
Still big on the Reno Raiders. All right, here we're going to do. If anybody's watching this, me and Ann have had the discussion. We're big on the Oakland Raiders making the move to Las Vegas.
Yes, I want them to move there. I don't, if the name, I don't really care about the name, but I just think. Well, you say it.
Well, no, he just thinks that'd be really good for them. Now, listen, I want to say this: if there's any Oakland Raiders fans watching, I absolutely love your fan base. You are all awesome, and I believe you deserve a team. However, I
They're
just
getting there.
want a team in Vegas, and it just seems like the Raiders are going to be the closest to that. Here's the big reason why. Me and Ant have kind of gone back and forth. So Ant wants it to be the Vegas Raiders because Vegas is the bigger name.
Yeah, it
Completely
gets more name recognition.
completely understandable. However, I'm big on the Reno Raiders. I think it just rolls off the tongue a bit more. Comment down
If you
below.
had to bet, I think you say
I mean,
Vegas.
it'd probably be Vegas. But look, we're 50 minutes in. At this point, if you're still watching, we're friends. Okay? Follow us on Twitter, all right, at the Kevin Walsh, _Zito. Is it 2 O's?
I believe so.
I believe it's 2 O's. Look, we're friends. We can hang out. You come to Iona College, and I'll buy you some
Do we have
Starbucks or
viewers or no?
something. We got 3 of them, but I'm going to post it to YouTube.
Cool.
So someone might be watching this on YouTube later on
Can you break
tonight.
it up into separate videos?
No, I'm just gonna upload the huge file.
No,
I don't
I'm just
think-
saying-
I mean, I could I don't know, but I'm just gonna upload it. So if you're at this point, listen, you spent 50 minutes with us. Comment down below. Reno Raiders or Vegas Raiders? I need it. I
I like
need
to have
know.
fun here. I feel like we're Boomer and Carton here.
Come on.
We'll have a little conversation between our picks.
Oh, I want to see what we can do. I want to see what we can do.
All right, so
All right.
Bills. Who cares about the Bills? Even though they're the only New York team. Let's get that one out of the way.
Yeah, it's just that
Um, I forgot what they need. Bills. They need a defensive end, offensive tackle, linebacker, QB. I don't think they go QB because I think Tyrod Taylor still has some potential.
I do too. I would go. I would keep
I thought
Tyrod as a starter.
I think he is the second best quarterback in the AFC East. He wasn't the second best last year, but I think he's the second best as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
What did it say? It's a defensive end
I've
or outside linebacker?
I have a suggestion.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Sheldon Rankins. No, actually, I take that back. Who was I? Kevin Dodd.
That's what I was going to suggest. I like the pick, man.
Said because I know he's a tackle, but Rankins. I'm going Kevin Dodd. I really don't have anything on Kevin Dodd. I know he was good. I think the Ryan brothers will pick defense. They definitely love guys who can get sacks, and Kevin Dodd's that guy. He played a great scheme in Clemson, and yeah, I think they're gonna go with that.
Clemson's the key here. Do you remember when Rex Ryan came into the press conference in a Clemson helmet?
Oh,
his son
That is
goes
very-
there.
that is very- Is his son good?
I don't know if his son's on the team. I literally have no.
No,
idea.
his son is on the team.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But I think if Shaq or Kevin Dodd are there, I think they go to the Ryan brothers. I really believe that.
They drafted Sammy Watkins.
I don't think Rex drafted Sammy though, did he?
They still have the Clemson factor.
Oh wait, how long? This was last year. Was Rex's first year?
Yeah.
No, so then he didn't draft Sammy. But still cool. Still cool. Big Clemson program. The Buffalo Bills
I think
are.
they should suck and get Watson. Because Watson's going to be the best quarterback out of all these quarterbacks this year, I think.
Oh, I'm big on Carson Wentz. I'm big on Carson
I
Wentz.
know you're bad, but
I do like Deshaun Watson though as well. That's tough.
I feel
Not
bad.
yet. Not doing a 2017 draft yet, and cheese.
No, I'm just saying. Side note. But who did I pick? Dodd? You like Dodd?
I like Dodd.
All right, we'll go to the Jets. Oh, God.
Here we go.
I know we have one viewer who's a Jets fan right now. He's a family friend. Hope you picked the worst pick for him.
What's his name? Let me talk to him.
Rob Fasella.
Robbie. Let's do it, Rob. Here's the thing,
If
man.
he's still watching, I don't even
Rob, you better be Rob. Rob, if I'm giving you all this kind of mentions here, Rob, your Instagram's gonna be blowing up after this one.
He's also a Met fan, which we don't like here.
Let's not get into it. Here's the thing, Rob. Okay, your Jets right now are doing the right thing by
Wait.
not paying Fitzpatrick yet.
Do you think they will?
Pay Fitz.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's how I think it goes, right?
Wait, is that before the draft?
No. This is my intended plan as new general manager of the New York Jets. I draft Paxton Lynch, and then I make Ryan Fitzpatrick go, oh, crap.
So you are picking Lynch.
I'm picking Lynch, and then you sign Fitz. I believe you'll be able to sign Fitz for a very small price, and then I think you can trade Paxton Lynch and get a good piece back.
Trade him to
for-
the Broncos.
Maybe some.
Unless they pick someone, obviously.
I think that could really be an option. Also, though, to be
But do you
completely
really
honest,
do that?
but
I think that's terrible to do, though.
to be completely honest, though, I wouldn't also mind starting Paxton if this deal doesn't get done.
That's
with
true.
Fitz.
Like,
So that's how I feel about
I'm
the
not
situation.
biggest person. I like Paxton, but I don't like him more than I like him.
I'm okay with Paxton. I like him way more than Gino.
Well, yeah, that's very easy.
So
that's very easy.
for
So I guess
that
we can't
re- for
well,
that
I feel like a lot of
reason-
Jeff fans and that Jet organization likes Petty, right? I feel like some of them are gravitating towards Petty.
But it's like I feel
Well,
like
you also gotta give him a chance too. So
it's tough. I don't know. I think that I would roll Paxton here. For one of the reasons too is I just don't know if the Jets are in a weird spot where it's like there's not a huge
they also could move up for all we know.
there's not a huge point of need necessarily for the Jets. There's not like this huge glaring weakness. Like they could use a corner, but Revis is there. So if he's taking away your best guy, then maybe your corner two can handle that. One of the interesting things though, look for the Jets is if Muhammad Wilkerson is moved on draft night, whether it's day 1 or day 2.
I think they should.
It's
Not because
gonna be
like they
interesting.
want to, but he needs so much. Well, he wants so much money,
Yeah,
which he deserves.
He wants tons of. It's similar to baseball. When you trade someone, when you know that he's going to be becoming a free agent, you just kind of get rid of him because you know you're not going to be able to get him back. Let's get some pieces while we can. I think that the Jets may be forced to move Muhammad Wilkerson, but if I'm here, I do take Paxton Lynch. So Jets, Paxton Lynch, say hello to one another. Robbie, I hope you like it.
The Skins. Oh, the Skins. 21. I'm going.
20 fun.
Oh, I'm going Sheldon Rankins for them. They need a defensive lineman. Apparently, he could go from anywhere from 4 to maybe not even in
Round
the first
2.
round. So I think just because of that potential, I'm going to go Rankins for them. I don't know much about him. Maybe you do.
I'll be honest
leave
with
it to you.
I've tried to figure out Rankins. It's just odd. I don't know what. He doesn't seem to be the best run stuffer in the class. Doesn't seem to be the best pass rusher in the class as far as D tackles go. He just seems to be a guy you can trust. Maybe I think that's kind of what it is. I think he's the quickest one though. I think that is the one thing he has. I think he ran a 5.03 40 at the combine. So perhaps that's one of the biggest things that's helped him. I think it's the correct pick as far as position for sure. As far as player, it's just because I don't know. But considering the fact that how high he's talked about, it's probably a wonderful selection, being realistically. So I like that move. I like that move.
So you have the Texans next. And I just want to show you. This site says, it's the Washington Post, so they know something, I guess. Their positions of need. The first thing they say, speed. What in the world does that mean, speed? Speed can mean anything. Next is interior offensive lineman and defensive end. They just signed, actually, a guard, Jeff Allen. So I guess they may need another guard or center.
Is that trying to persuade me to take Will Fuller? I don't get
the
it.
Texans? They could use another.
Apparently
shooter.
they're thinking about Fuller. Apparently they're thinking about Coleman. Apparently they're thinking about Treadwell. I'm thinking about wide receiver for sure, though. I'll be honest with you.
Or wait, did you? Oh,
I'm
you
thinking
did choose
about
Ryan Kelly. Never
I'm
mind.
thinking about receiver. Yes, he would have been an option. I'm thinking about receiver. I'm just gonna take the best receiver, and I think it's Laquan Treadwell.
He's so good.
I mean,
even the Giants have talked about getting. Even though that's probably not a thing anymore, but
I mean, look, you're sitting there at 22. Could use a receiver, and the best receivers on the board. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that every day.
I
of the
think
week.
people don't appreciate him as much. Everyone's talking about Doxson. Maybe sometimes for a little more.
Too much caught up on the combine, man. Too much caught up on the 40 yard dash. Hey, listen, get over it. Watch the tape. Kid's a beast.
So good.
Kid's a beast.
Good hands. I mean, Doxson might have the best hands, but I think Trevor's just as good.
I like Doxson too. I don't know where you're.
I don't know if I have Doxson panning out. I think I actually might put him next.
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say.
Not good. That's just because I would think they pick. Who would I pick? What are the Vikings? Oh, so that's the Texans, right?
Yeah, I'm going Treadwell.
Treadwell?
I think the Vikings do also need wide receiver, probably.
Let me look up their need. I know receiver is one of their needs. Vikings.
The interesting
Wide receiver,
thing,
offensive lineman. That's it.
I mean, so and the interesting
Which
thing
makes
is,
sense actually.
You know, since wide receiver is one of their needs, right? I think one of the things to consider is Teddy Bridgewater may not be the most accurate of QB. and their other receiver being Stephon Diggs is a bit smaller. Now, I'm not trying to force you and sway you
No,
into
I
Doxson.
think they will go receiver. I think they need to help out the franchise QB. I think they will go Doxson, but I would pick Corey Coleman over him. So I'm going Coleman.
Now, I just want to ask you this because I think
I
would
think Coleman is
personally-
also underappreciated. I think he could be a great slot receiver.
I think I would personally go with Doxson because I think that he can be the wide receiver one, got a bigger catch radius. Stephon Diggs is just is around the
No, I
same
think they would
exact size
definitely
as
go
Coleman.
Doxson, but me personally, I like Coleman better.
You just
Because I even at one point this year, I 100% had Coleman as my Heisman winner.
yeah, he was killing it with Baylor.
And
He was
then
killing
all
it
injuries
early.
happened, and then his touches just went way down, which is not his fault, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on it. So
Now I know you're gonna have to change your pick for the Bengals right now. Because
Yeah.
I know Michael Thomas is not the next best receiver.
yeah, he's just
I
not.
mean, no, I would say receiver is their number one need.
I gotta
Right.
go receiver here without a doubt for me.
So Treadwell and Coleman are out.
Treadwell,
guess where you're
Coleman
going.
out. I gotta go Doxson then. I gotta go Doxson.
Personally, I would go Fuller
I like Fuller
because they already have AJ Green. I think they want that speed guy next.
I like Fuller a lot. Correct me if I'm is Laurent Carew is pretty fast, no?
Huh?
Out of Rutgers, Carew.
He doesn't kill you with speed, but he's the best route runner I think in this draft. That he could catch the hell out of the ball.
I think that they could get Carew pretty late, or even
I was-
Braxton Miller.
I was hearing that, and I think this is my. I don't know if it's really bold, but I think Carew is from Rutgers. I think he will. Whatever team he's drafted by will start week 1 this year.
I like it. No, and that's my thing. I think that they can go with a size guy in Doxson.
Yeah,
And
Carew's
having-
not the biggest guy, but
Yeah, and have AJ Green and Doxson as their 1-2. But I think they also grab a slot receiver because they lost Mohamed Sanu and Marvin Jones.
yeah.
So round 3, round 4, round 5, I think you see another receiver go for the Bengals.
yeah, just for Carew, I think was it route running. I think it's very underappreciated for some. I don't know if I guess if NFL teams don't see that as other people. I think they do view it very important, but I think route running is very important.
I mean, the thing is, it just depends on how much you think that you can improve.
Because there
a
are
player
some
when he gets
great
there.
receivers who are not great route runners. I'm pretty sure Deshaun Jackson is not the best route runner in the world.
Just real quick, just real quick.
That's why he's like the Fuller's next to him. But so we are going, or you're.
I'm going with
Doxson.
Doxson for the Bengals. 25.
Steelers. This is who I was originally picking, or I would have. This is who I was saying where he would go with Eli Apple.
Eli Apple. I like it.
Oh no! Hold that real quick. I think that's who they will pick.
Are you gonna go with the U here? Am I gonna hear Artie Burns' name?
I think he's the really good. I don't know. It's who I would go. I would definitely go Artie Burns.
You go Artie Burns. I think that's fair, honestly.
But I'm like you are with Michael Thomas. I'm pretty sure they would definitely go with Apple if he's there though.
I'll be honest with you. I will say this though. I think I might have to back off the Michael Thomas thing because the other day I was looking at the same Matt Miller, Bleacher Report. I love his stuff. He was the guy who originally said that they had him number 1 on their board, and then he changed the mock draft where they didn't take Thomas. So if they take a wide receiver and it's not Michael Thomas, but Michael Thomas is the number 1 receiver on their board, there's something wrong there. So now I don't know if Thomas actually does go there. I think it still very well could happen. But
yeah, we don't. We just don't know.
yeah.
I'm going Burns. I think he's very underrated. I think he can be, besides Jackson, the best corner in this draft. And that's basically it. The U. I know you're not a fan of the pick, but
No. It's fair. I made a noise. at
I'm
something
rooting
else
for
I was
Eli
gonna
Apple,
debate about.
but I just don't know how great he'll be.
Yeah, no. I think that these corners could, the separation at the moment isn't huge.
Do they need a safety by any chance?
I think it's
Might
corner
just-
or
I
safety.
might just change my pick right now.
You may just go around and do the little swap-a-rooney, yeah?
No, it says cornerback, offensive tackle, tight end, and nose tackle.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be the corner.
Yeah, I'll go corner, but I would not be surprised if they pick a safety. So you got the Seahawks.
Real easy, dude. Taylor Decker. Get protection for not only Russell Wilson, who consistently runs, not only a replacement for all the people that left your offensive line, but Thomas Rolls, the new running back. You ain't got beast mode anymore.
I think he's just as good. Well, he's shown signs.
I think-
That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I think he can be an absolute beast, but we don't know yet. So for that reason, Decker's there. Got to be Decker for me.
Yeah, short and sweet. I can't really argue with you there. About it. And so the Packers are next. We're on 27. They need a linebacker, defensive end, and pass catching tight end. What does that mean? They don't want to. They don't want to tight end that blocks, obviously. Let me see who's on the board. Defensive end or linebacker. I'm gonna go Raglan for them. Yeah. I'm not. Actually,
I'm a Raglan guy.
I keep forgetting.
There's someone who's fallen in this
Floyd. I'm going Floyd. What am I talking about? I like Floyd now.
I've loved it. He's fallen.
I've become a bigger fan of Floyd. You know, I didn't like him 2 days ago, or a day ago actually. I've looked up a lot of stuff on him. Let me teach you some knowledge. Floyd. He's better than Raglan. I think that's a fact. He could play defensive end or linebacker, but will most likely play like strong linebacker or middle. People are not really impressed with his stats, but that is not his fault because Mark Richt or maybe the linebacker coach decided him to play middle linebacker instead of,
which is a little weird.
Linebacker instead of the outside.
Just shows how athletic he is.
But I think that was a good thing for him because he learns different way how to play linebacker and learn a little more about how to stop the run. He's 6'6", 240 pounds. His height is a huge plus, and he has the long arms. But the thing is, he needs to gain 15 to 20 pounds because he's a linebacker. And if he does that, I think the ceiling is very high. But he also can be bust, as other people say he can be. And as I saw with what a lot of people said, he has a lot of will and desire. Excuse me. And he loves to hit people. And sometimes the will and desire can overcome some of the cons you have.
Yeah,
I think he can be one of the best players in this draft if he gains the weight and tries to improve his craft.
I think that's fair.
And depending where he plays, I think he should be an edge rusher, possibly defensive end, but I go him outside linebacker.
Oh, man. If Raglan's not going to be in the first, that hurts.
I'm not. I think he's just Raglan's the old school type of linebacker.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I'm a big Raglan guy, though. Bring me up the Chiefs' needs. I'm pretty sure I know who I go with here, but I'm going to check it out quickly.
Chiefs. Cornerback, linebacker, receiver, guard.
Eli Apple. For me, it's going to be Eli Apple.
Okay.
I think that they definitely need to replace Sean Smith, and I think that if Eli Apple pans out, because Marcus Peters was pretty good year one, gave up a bunch of yards, but
yeah, he definitely has that potential.
8 interceptions. That'd be pretty cool. 2 young guns as your corners could create a dynamic duo. I'm always, I'm big on that type of things. I think it was the Mighty Ducks that did it to me with the Bash brothers. I was like just 2 guys who play the same position, just taking names. Doing what. I'm a big fan of that idea. I think that Eli Apple can be very good. I think that this is a realistic number of corners that you will see go on day one. I think you'll see at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 go on day one. Eli Apple to the Chiefs. I like this move for my now Kansas City Chiefs since I'm the GM of the Chiefs, even though I've now been fired and I'm moving on to the Panthers.
So for the Cardinals, we don't know who to pick here.
What do we got as draft needs for the Cards?
I just looked that up. Defensive tackle, safety. Oh, safety. That's center and cornerback. So I'm gonna go safety for him. Even though in these drafts I'm looking at, they have Jackson and Spence for them right now, who are gone. I'm gonna go safety, who could pair up with Tyrann Mathieu. Thing is, who I would pick, right? How many good defensive players are from Ohio State?
Tons.
Right now.
Outrageous.
I just looked at that.
Because you're looking at Von Bell's name.
Yeah, look at Von Bell.
There's tons, man.
For me,
a lot of good safeties,
I think
actually.
they would go Bell. Oh, no, actually, I don't really know, honestly. But for me, I'm going to call Joseph, who I'm a big fan of. They originally had the Giants game in the second round, which I think would have been huge. If it happens, it happens. He's 5'10", 205 pounds. He's a beast. He did have an ACL injury, but he's great quickness and speed. He's definitely just a natural athlete. He's great in run support, and apparently he's so physical and just runs people over that I think he just changed the game with one play, just hitting someone so hard. He has great instincts. He has good to great ball skills. and has played with both man and zone, which I think is very good because it gives him great experience on both types. So I'm going Carl Joseph at a WVU.
I think that Carl Joseph is a very good pick. I want to say this though. More and more as we've done our research, I've learned that safety is actually a really strong position in
It's
this
just, I don't
draft.
think it's the biggest need for everyone.
It's not. Yeah, it's not something you may see on day one.
That's why I like a lot of the Giants.
But
the Giants
Keanu Neal, Carl Joseph, Von Bell, and then as well T.J. Green from Clemson are all guys that could really help a team like the New York Giants. And I think that those are all guys you probably see go in round two. So, I've had a couple conversations where, Giants fans not too happy with not being able to sign a safety in the offseason. Maybe the Giants just really evaluated this safety class.
I think they did that on purpose, not thinking about because of the strong safety class and where they are at position in the second round.
Yeah, so I think that they actually can then address that need come round two. So we're now at pick 30. We're almost done here.
The smart Panthers that they are.
Panthers tough now because corner's a huge need.
I don't think they'll do it.
Corner's a huge need.
The offensive tackle, D end, running back, which
I don't like that to say. I've heard people say that.
Cornerback, maybe they just go. Maybe they'll get one later round. Maybe that's probably what they're saying.
I mean, for me,
cornerback, and I don't think they will go cornerback.
I'm not taking Kendall Fuller. I think I can maybe even get him in the second round. I'm not big on Kendall Fuller.
I know who I would pick if I were them, but I'll let you pick the pick because it's your pick.
I think I'm going to take, and I'm hoping that I'm not leaving anybody out, but I think I'm going to take Emmanuel Ogbah.
That's what I was picking.
I like Emmanuel Ogbah. I believe he had 13 sacks last year at Oklahoma State. To me, people talk about what Leonard Floyd can do. Well, Leonard Floyd had 4.5 sacks while at Georgia. Now, I understand we went over the inside linebacker stuff like that, and I get that completely. But I like the production that I saw at Ogbah, and people could talk about him being Ziggy Ansah. Like, well, Ziggy Ansah was super, super raw when he came out of college. Ogbah, raw, yes. But
wait, Ziggy went to... I thought he was from Africa, isn't he?
I thought I'm almost
He played in college?
He played at BYU.
What was that, for like a year or something?
I'm gonna grab it right now.
He's definitely from Africa, right?
I'm gonna pull it up right now. He's from Guyana. Played at BYU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played at BYU. So
he played all 4 years. I'm saying that's senior season.
Yeah. He was there. I guess because he had to. Obviously, I guess
BYU is not a big program,
but it has right here his senior year numbers 4.5 sacks. So Ziggy was just so raw when he came out, and he's obviously proved.
He only played for 4 years. And he definitely didn't play in Africa.
Yeah, he's proved to be a very good player. I mean, he went 5th. I didn't know he even went that high in 2013. I didn't realize Ziggy Ansah went that high.
Was that a crappy draft?
From what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like it was the greatest of drafts.
And this draft has a potential to be a very bad draft.
I didn't realize Ziggy went that high. But I like Ogbah a lot, and just because
he's like 50-50 good bust or boom.
But my thing is like, yeah, he's raw, but 13 sacks in college compared to the 4.5 that we saw from Leonard Floyd and obviously from Ziggy Ansah. So if there's a whole bunch of room for improvement while he had 13 sacks at Oklahoma State, I think I like that, and I think that's why I like Emmanuel Ogbah. So, Ann, you're going to close this off here. You get 16 picks.
Broncos.
Denver.
I have 2 picks for him.
Broncos.
Wait, do I? Yeah, who's the other? I had another pick for them. Oh, yeah. It's very tough because I remember I told you another possible thing they could do was go Connor Cook. I thought that was one of my bold predictions possibly for them. But I don't know if they're trading for one. Because I really can't see them really want to start Mark Sanchez. Is he okay back up? Yeah, he's fine. He has experience. But I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go Connor Cook. I don't know why. I'm going Connor Cook. I think they're just going to make that mistake because I think Connor Cook is trash.
So who would you take now?
Oh, Ragland.
You take Reg?
They need an inside linebacker.
I love it. I love Reg.
So I guess I gotta pick Ragland.
Glad to see Rags going around one.
They need an inside linebacker. He's the prototypical inside linebacker. Great run stopper. What else do I have for him?
Just a beast. I mean, beast.
6'1", 250. Like I said, old school linebacker. Solid strength. Okay, speed. definitely the great run stuffer, as that's why he's the old school linebacker. He's a solid edge rusher, but Bama did do good by him by moving him around on the defense instead of just keeping him in the middle. They moved him on the edge and stuff. But he is definitely an inside middle linebacker. Definitely like a leader, solid tackler, knows his responsibilities, and always know where the ball is, and he has great instincts. So
I
Reggie
like Ragland a lot.
Ragland, even though I think they will take Cook and make that big mistake, and I think this might be the worst post Super Bowl team. Like they have a potential to really take a dip.
They might miss the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I know the Giants did that. They missed the year
Yeah.
after, I think twice.
both times.
It was both times.
That's great. I don't know. Let's do a little fun here, okay? Let's pretend. Now they would have been picking actually at pick
Oh, the pass.
yeah, they would have been picking at 29, I think.
What the hell do they need?
Now, I don't know necessarily what the exact needs are off the top of my head, but I know who I think I would take.
Offensive tackle, interior defensive line, running back, cornerback.
I think I take Derrick Henry. And I let
I like
Derrick
that
Henry.
pick. Actually, I would agree to that.
I think I would let Derrick Henry be the first two downs, just continuously
that pick.
run. Bill Belichick can probably make him thrive in the system because I'm going to tell you he's probably better right now than LeGarrette Blount is. Right, LeGarrette Blount was pretty good last year. And then you
yes
have
and no. I just don't know.
and then you have who was the man who absolutely killed it last year as their 3-down running back? Dion Lewis. And then you have Dion Lewis.
That's also he's definitely a great third or fourth down.
But that's what I'm saying. So you let Dion Lewis just strictly continue to catch passes.
And
I think Derrick Henry could be nice for them.
I think that is a good pick.
Now, if they may crazily enough be able to just trade up a little bit and get him in the second.
I think they will try definitely to trade up. Where are they in the second round?
Late.
They're late because just them always being
They
good.
have 2 late second round picks, though, because they were able to get one from the Cardinals, but the Cardinals pick was also late.
That was good.
Here's the thing, though. Let's think about it, right? If Brady is out of those first 4 games, the running game's going to be important. Because I don't think that Jimmy G is going to drop back and throw it tons. So
I think he will. Honestly.
You think he's going to throw it tons?
Are we going to talk about the Patriots now? Because I have definitely a great thing to talk about the Patriots.
Yeah, we'll close it on this. So this will be the last little thing here. We're at 1:15, so maybe we say we got 5 minutes just to quickly say we'll give the Patriots their due since we covered every other team.
I'll let you go first on this whole. Are we talking about the Brady and their first 4 games?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I think that the decision to suspend him is just weird. Look, he tried to do it once.
He won the appeal.
He won the appeal. I don't know really how you go back and now he loses. It's very odd to me. It seems like they're trying to prove a point. I don't know. It's very, very weird. The Patriots are normally they're a winning franchise. So realistically, what the worst case situation for them, being realistic, is probably 10-6, and that's if they go 0-4 with Garoppolo, and then Brady maybe loses 2 games. So they're just consistently winning. I mean, I don't know. It's very odd. They have a very bad reputation as far as cheating goes. I'm more interested just to see if he wins it again, because then I think the NFL gets embarrassed.
I think this is awesome for the Patriots, honestly, because they're the smartest franchise because they always pick quarterbacks at higher than they normally should because they have Brady obviously, and they're about to see that if Garoppolo's the real deal in the first 4 games, he's gonna take the first because Brady has like that ego that he's gonna take the first snaps in practice, and he legally can't do that now. So he's gonna take the first snaps preseason, and he's gonna the first 4 games. You got some good competition. You got division games. You got 3 home games actually.
I think they play the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals away first game, which is a good team, and then you got 3 home games. So I think we're gonna see if he's for real, and then if he's for real, they either keep him or they might get some trade out of him for all we know. And then you thought I think I told you a little bit like this. You thought Brady was pissed off last year when he won the appeal.
Yeah.
I think he's my MVP already, early pick. I think this whole league's gonna feel the wrath of Brady again.
Honestly, wouldn't.
And he's got Martell's Bennett with him. And I really feel bad for the Browns because his first game back is versus him.
Or Hugh Jackson.
He's got Martell's Bennett. He's got the best tight end I've ever seen.
I think he's gonna be the greatest tight end. If he's not already, Gronk is gonna finish as the greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah, besides Antonio Gates, I think he's the best one. And
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah. He's got Bennett. Got Julian Edelman. I think.
They grabbed
his
the
name?
receiver too. I
No,
can't
but-
remember it off the top of my head, but I know they grabbed a receiver.
Oh yeah, but what's his name from the Rams? Not Edelman.
Quick.
No, the receiver.
I can't
They-
remember.
when
Kenny
they-
Still?
no,
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 Kenny Still's on
no.
the Dolphins.
No, it's not. It wasn't just from this past year. What's his name? He's small. They got him like 2 years ago.
I got him.
He's the white player.
Amendola?
Yeah, Amendola.
Oh.
I think he's still a solid
I didn't realize
receiver.
he was even from the Rams.
Wasn't he?
I don't know. Maybe. I'll be honest with you.
I swore he was.
I promise you this, and you'll learn this because we're not going to upload this. If someone does watch this up to minute 118 and 39 seconds, they'll let you know where he's from. Someone's going to be like, "What morons!"
Amendola. I think he is. And he's got the running back, as you just said, to throw at him on the outside. Deion Lewis. I think. And they just, they did just give up Chandler Jones, but I think they did that for a reason to move up in the draft. And I think they obviously like someone. You know it's gonna be late.
I never even thought about that though. That
They did it on purpose. They're too
no,
smart just to give up Chandler Jones.
no. The fact that it works out for them to where now they've got to see how good Garoppolo is.
Yes, I think it's great
And
for them because they keep
Patriots win again.
because they either say, oh, Brady, Brady's got 2-3 years left, or maybe more for all we know. We could still sit him, or we could get a great trade out of him and pick a QB in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's true. Because
he was never gonna play.
If he just destroys.
You
the
saw
first
what
four
they got out of
games-
Matt Castle. Didn't they trade Matt Castle?
I don't remember off the top of my head if he was a free agent, whatever. But yeah, that's right. Because if they could just then trade him, wow. Patriots win again. There it is. All right.
Did I just convince you the Patriots are gonna win? And I think they're gonna go 3-1 and lose the first game with Garoppolo.
I don't know.
Look who's throwing to.
I haven't gotten that far into it. I can't. I gotta handle the draft
The
first.
first and the Dolphins, that's a win. Come on. Cardinals, I'll give them a loss because Cardinals are nice
That's
if
right.
everyone's healthy. And I don't know who the other two victims are.
of Jimmy G.
They're definitely being the Browns. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Not going out on a limb there though. All right, that is the show. If you watched all of this, I love you and I thank you and I appreciate it. Ant does too, even though he won't say it. Drop a like. This is just a little bit of fun just before the actual draft happens itself. We're going to be live here on Ustream tomorrow, covering every single pick, breaking it down, live reaction to the actual draft. Very excited for that. Really excited for the picks to finally happen. Thank you everyone who has been here on WICR throughout the lead up to the actual draft itself, following all the coverage that we have done. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Signing out, Ant Lazito, Kevin Walsh.
Have a good one.
Later.